A lovely Monday evening, and we're glad you find the time to join us on a much talked about program, Meet the Candidates and the Political Parties on Independent Television and Radio. My name is Sonny Duke Okosun. This program was specially designed just to showcase the candidates and the political parties in the build-up to Edo State governorship election, and to also provide a platform for direct engagement between the stakeholders and the electorate, just to help you make sense of the election and make the best of decision. As we promised in the last couple of days, we have in the studio Edo State Deputy Governor, who incidentally is also the PDP Deputy Governorship candidate, a former National Student Association of Nigerian leader, a former member of Edo State House of Assembly, is also a former member of the National Assembly. I'd like to thank very especially Right Honorable Comrade Shaibu for joining us on the program, Meet the Candidate. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay.
The electioneering campaign has taken momentum, and interestingly, you have been at the center of it all. But I want to start from the basics. I recall some years back, I had the privilege of covering one of your campaigns when you were vying for your second term in the Edo State House of Assembly. And the Comrade governor described you then as his political godson. In view of what has happened in the last couple of days, weeks, months in this election, are you still the Comrade's godson?
Of course, I'm still Comrade godson. Actually, I don't think it was political godson. Yeah, it actually my father, because we have a family tie, and before my father gave up the ghost, a month before that, he handed me over to him and said, look, take care of my son, because my father actually also took care of him, the Comrade. So it's like a family tie, and so beyond politics, I understand. So I know people got to know him, Comrade Oshomole and I, when he became governor. And so our relationship have been far before he became governor. So I'm still his son. He's still my father. Just that on the political side, we are on the different camp. He's supporting somebody else, and I am stuck with my own boss that is doing very well.
How were you able to engender this kind of relationship with the governor, His Excellency Godwin Inoyerase Obaseki? How were you able to develop that friendship, that relationship?
Yeah, you see, it's all about the vision that we have for Edo State. We all decided that we need to have a change. We need to have a state that will grow. We need to have a state that we need the peace, we need things to be done differently the way it used to be done in the past. And in the course of thinking, Oshomole was available for that change. And all of us came together to say, look, let's support him first. As at that time, he has the name in NLC, all the strike thing, he was popular. And we were looking for somebody that is popular. And we encouraged him to come into politics. And fortunately, he accepted. And that is how it started. And interestingly, I was there before him, in politics before him, and I was able to also join to convince him. First, he was like, politics is too dirty. And secondly, he doesn't have money. And I said, look, it's not dirty. It's the players that make it dirty. But that is the more reason why we need good people to come into politics now to change it. So after that, he accepted. And the first meeting, political meeting that he ever attended, I organized it. And another thing is, as God will make it, we're in a function in Lagos, all the period he was trying to make up his mind, and we met the present governor, Godwin Obaseki. And that one said, look, if it is money, forget it. We will raise money for you. Just accept. And he said, you really? And that man said, Godwin, now, the governor said, look, forget it, Oshomole. We will raise the money for you. Just accept. And he did. After all that, we sat down to decide what do we really want. We want an EDO that will leave the name of being a civil service state to an industrial state. We need a state that is developed. We need a state that will take advantage of its geographical location to create wealth and distribute wealth. That was the vision. So that is what brought all of us together. And interestingly, God made it possible that he brought all of us to support Comrade, to make it work. So from the resources end, from the political mobilization, all of us, when God wants to make things work, he just creates that atmosphere and give you the right people. And that's how it started. So it's all about the vision. And we put him in front as the vision bearer, and we all supported that vision. But unfortunately, after he succeeded. He really succeeded. In 8 years, even with the turbulence, he was able to establish what they call red roof, was able to build roads and all those. We saw it as a foundation. And he spent 8 years, good. Now he left. When we were coming, we came in with that mantra that we are taking that achievement to the next level. That means continuation of that vision to develop Edo State. But suddenly, the man that was the vision bearer before, in the last 8 years, decided to say, no, we need to now change the vision back to where we are coming from, where Godfather will be the one to decide what happened. And that is where I said no. I came and said, look, Comrade, don't even let anybody hear. This is where we are going. If you now decide to do it this way, your image will be at stake, and that vision you want to derail, look at everybody, we will not accept. So that is where the issue started. And he was not happy with it, but it was not, I was not making the statement to make him happy, but I was making the statement to let him know that if he derail, this is the consequence. And I didn't want him to derail. I wanted him to remain the same Comrade that I know, that was interested in the development of Edo State, where he told us that the easiest way to develop Edo State is to free resources that are meant for Godfather for development.
Okay.
So that is where the disconnect started. And this governor continued with that vision and took it to the next level we're talking about. And that next level he took it to is what endeared that my support to say, look, this man is actually the man Comrade told us. When Comrade told us about this governor, I was one of those that said no. I was supporting somebody else at the primaries until he was able to convince us that, look, we need a man like Godwin because the economy of the country is shambles and we might be going into recession, which he was correct. And after convincing us, we realized that, okay, we need to follow what he has said, and we decided to step down the man I was supporting, and all of us, that is Barrister Sarodi Oge, all of us joined forces and supported the present governor, and he won. Fortunately for us, the man came in, he reordered the system in line with what we were told about him. And for me, he has not derailed. Okay. Instead, he has even surpassed what we expected. So that is what has endeared me.
What are the key achievements under the present administration that you are an integral part of in terms of taking governance to the next level? Because we hear every now and then from the major opposition saying that the grounds with your government is that there is a clear-cut derailment in the template that was set for the party at the time you were still at, you're still part and parcel of the APC. Take, for example, roads. The roads that Comrade introduced with expanded lanes, walkways and all of that, you don't see that anymore. Street light is a major challenge. The red route revolution is no longer there. So I'd like to get your thoughts.
Yeah, I think when the Comrade, I know him. I know him. When I say I know him, I know him. I have over 40 years relationship with him. I know him. He wants you to believe everything that he feels is right, even when you think it's not right. He has that attitude, and I know him for that. And when he can come out to say he built red roof, true, and that this governor has not even built one, you know, that is not true. That is absolutely not true. And that is why I advise in one of my statements that there are certain things we should not be allowing our children to watch, especially when Comrade is talking, so that they don't start mixing things to think you need to be speaking from both sides of your mouth. As far as development is concerned, Comrade, one of the things he did was the red roof revolution, building those schools with red roof and PVC ties and all those stuff. In terms of infrastructure, instead of that particular infrastructure, we discovered that the red roof revolution and the PVC windows and doors was not meant for our tropical situation. If you observe, almost 90% of those schools were vandalized. They were removing those PVC windows and all those doors. You know, there are a lot of arrests we made, and we decided to redesign them. If you go through those schools, including this one opposite here, you see that we've redesigned them to steel windows and steel doors. And for 3.5 years now, none of those steel windows or steel doors have been vandalized. That is an improvement on that red roof.
Okay.
And we have built we have built 340, we have built a total of 340 red roofs with our modern way of building them. And out of which 175 are brand new classrooms. So when you say we have not built even one, I'm saying that 340 has been constructed. And out of these 340, 72 have been new buildings. That is on infrastructure. One of the new things that we have done, taking EDO to the next level, that is just a building. A building that can be built anywhere. What makes it a school is the content. Oshomole built red roof. Our children were schooling. Obaseki rebuilt that red roof and put content. Our children are now learning. So we have brought learning to our primary school as against schooling. So that is one of the new things that we have brought in, which is the next level we're talking about. Digital learning. Our children can now learn digitally. Our teachers that during the Oshomole era were seen not to be good teachers, were dehumanized, they were disgraced. They were shown on viral video showing that we have the worst teachers in Edo. Those same teachers, we discovered that not that they are bad, but you have a government that was insensitive to modern way of learning and teaching. These teachers, since they were employed, we observed that they've not gone for training. So first thing we did was to go into MOU with some educational institutions to train these teachers. Okay. After training these teachers, they now call these teachers now digital teachers. And as against teachers that were disgraced on the street, and you see viral video of saying that teachers are bad, you now have teachers that have been celebrated even by Lagos State. And our children now can read and write in their first year in primary school. So you can see that we have added content, learning content into that red roof. That is the next level we're talking about. Then those roads, yeah, you are talking about. During the Oshomole era, you remember they said Oshomole was building, he was planting flowers. And we said building road to nowhere is planting flowers, no problem. But the road to nowhere, those areas where they said it was bush, those are the areas we are converted to our new site for development of agriculture. And looking at construction of road, we've done over 1,000 kilometers of road within here alone. And during the Oshomole era, we had what they call C4. C4 is co-sponsored between, co-funded by Edo State government and World Bank. And there are actually roads within 1 kilometer, just link roads that are not high density roads that are not supposed to carry heavy duty vehicles. That was during the Oshomole. The next level we are taking C4 now is to have C4 plus. And C4 plus is solely funded by Edo State government. The lesson we learned from C4 is what we are taking to C4 plus. And C4 plus is of a higher grade to C4. Where C4 can take bicycle and just little vehicles, not high density, C4 plus can at least take 911 vehicles. Okay. So it's the capacity that they can carry is higher. Okay. And it's solely funded by the state government. And check, the schools that we built now are schools that we built with fence, we built to have solar power, and to also build with toilet facilities. So before we came on board, you just have schools that does not have toilet facilities. Very few of them. We've built over 1,000 new toilet facilities for these schools. You understand? So when we're talking about next level, that is what we're talking about. Now we talk about next level, Edo job. During Oshomole era, we have touts all over. We have, you cannot travel length and breadth of Edo State without these boys blocking the street. Even the drivers union were molested. You saw some videos during that time where one of these characters that call himself lion and tiger now stripped a driver naked, and so the other one macheted. You know, that is what the order. And some of us that were in government then were like, I raised some questions. And what will the Shomole tell us? Look, you see, I don't have Abuja, and they are fighting me. So what I need to do is to have an infantry that can face the police, face them when they come to chase me. And that is why I had that, and he celebrated infantry, where the Kabakas were the infantry heads.
But they say you are one of the commanders of that infantry.
No, I was not the commander of infantry.
You were one of the commanders.
I was not even one of the commander. Okay. I was a beneficiary of those infantry through protecting the House of Assembly, okay, an institution. Okay. If you said that, I will accept. Okay. But we were not part of allowing those infantry. We complain in-house, not something we can talk in public.
To the public.
But when we complain and you say, look, Philip, you see, we cannot just stop it. We need this infantry to be able to fight and do all these things. So these are things that is sad to say in public, but there are a lot more that we can't say because it was like a family. Okay. You understand? But the one common goal that we had was we need to move Edo forward. We need to develop Edo State. Okay. And to do that, we need to protect the government. You understand? To be able to achieve those aims. So these are the things that are happening now. That is the good news is that you have a governor that talk less, focus, and he is interested in sticking to that vision of developing the state and taking the state out of, taking the state back to that era of Togri, where CDAs will disturb you, and all those stuff. You see, so when we talk about a lot of things need to be, I can itemize a lot of things when we talk about the next level that we are today. Okay. CDAs are one of them. Okay. People can build houses now without stress. You don't need to pay somebody when you are doing foundation. You don't need to pay when you are roofing your house and all those nonsense that they used to do. All those things have been eradicated. CFOs, if you check the number of CFOs that we have issued in less than 4 years, it's more than Edo State, since the creation of Edo State put together. And we are not only issuing them, we reduced it to 50,000. And we are also automated it now that online you can also apply for CFO. So what we have just done is to recreate and return government to what government is meant to do. Government is supposed to be a supervisor. A government is supposed to be somebody that a system that creates an environment for you and I to bring our intellectual ability and our businesses to be able to grow in our state. That is what government is supposed to do. So that is what we are returning governance. Okay. And another next level that we are today, we discovered the bureaucrats are also before we came on board, we discovered they were another issue. The civil service was an issue. And we looked inward and like, how do we get the civil service to actually work? And the same problem. They have not been exposed to modern way of work. So they needed training again.
Yeah.
And we have to go back to training and retraining them so that we cannot develop the state without their support, because all the documentation, all the policies that we are implementing, without them buying in, it cannot work. But for them to buy in, they need to understand the vision, and they also need to understand modern way of making things work fast.
Okay.
So we have done all this to change the system so that at the end of the day, what are we trying to achieve? We want to return government to be able to let the institutions function without interference. And when we're able to get there, where institutions are now being are functioning without interference, where we are returning governance back to those areas where institutions are being created, no individuals, then we can go to sleep to say, like, we can do certain things, and we know those institutions are there to make them work.
Okay. Two key areas I'd like to get the reactions on, based on promises made. The flooding challenge in Benin City is still there. Yeah. And then there was a promise of 200,000 jobs. Yeah. Some say this government has only succeeded in employing more senior special assistants, SSAs, in the history of Edo State. I'd like to get your reactions on those two. And then, is this election a contest? If we narrow it down to the two major political parties, is it a contest between Oshomole and Obaseki, or is it a contest between Pastor Sagi Ezeyamu and Governor Godwin Obaseki?
Yeah, I think I'll start with the last one. Actually, the contest between Oshomole and Obaseki.
Why? Why is that so?
Because also Oshomole has made himself available, and they are taking it personal. And because they are taking it personal, you can see that he's campaigning all around, even without Ezeyamu. And when he gets to campaign ground, Ezeyamu is inside the car. He's coming out of an open roof, and he's waving the crowd and cheering the crowd. And I don't understand what that means. The candidate is inside the car seated. You, that is former governor, you are coming out on an open roof in a campaign ground and waving the people. So obviously, he has taken the campaign personal. And just yesterday, he was in my town, Jetu, campaigning alone. Today, he's visiting my Ogeneni in the palace of Ogeneni on my street in Jetu alone for this election. Why Ezeyamu is this way? So who is campaigning? Who is looking for position? It's him. And I understand his predicament. You know, according to what he told somebody, and I got information that he's already down, he doesn't care again. For him, even if he has to bring a thief, he doesn't care. But so far, it's not Obaseki. It can be thief, it can be anybody, but not Obaseki. So you can see that statement is what he's working on. And that is why the election is no longer between Obaseki and Ezeyamu. It's now Obaseki and Oshomole. And just yesterday, he has added me and added my wife. So you can see a cry of a frustrated man. And I understand his predicament, but we will deal with it. On the 19th, Edo people cannot be fooled. Edo people cannot be fooled. And I know Edo people will actually come up to they know the difference. Then on the issue of job creation, Edo Job is an agency that we set up to actualize our promise. One of the promises we made in 2016 that we were going to create 200,000 jobs. And these jobs were not to be created in the ministry. From the bureaucracy alone, we've created over 52,000 jobs. But the major jobs that we have created is from the private sector. We have what we call Edo Innovate, and we have the production center. From Edo Innovate alone, we've created over 28,000 jobs. With 24 of those 28,000 jobs are the people we train, and we've been able to match jobs for them, and they've gotten jobs. Edo Production Hub, if you go to Sapele Road, you see what we have done there and what we've done for them. And we are going to create such centers in the 3 senatorial districts. The example we have made in Benin, on Sapele Road, is already the testimony to the fact that it can work. And because it can work, why we need second term is that we need to actually replicate it in Edo Central and replicate it in Edo. The designs are already there, and the sites where this thing will be located are also there. And that is why, and what is critical in those establishment of those production center is power. They have 24 hours electricity. Okay. And the TCN step down at Esako West is one of those that we are waiting for the operators to energize, immediately energize that one. The other one will start functioning. Same with the one that will be established at Ekpoma. So that alone, we account for over 100,000 jobs, which will be private sector driven. Then agripreneur. The agripreneur system that we put in place through agri-cluster and the rest has also created over 50,000 jobs. And when you go to Sobe, when you go to Agenebole, when you go to Esa Southeast, you will see what we are doing with our new agri project. So when they say, I hear them say, we are internet jobs, are they jobs? If you know Edo State, we have a lot of these Yahoo boys. We've been able to pull more than 2,000 of these Yahoo boys out of doing the wrong thing, or training them and making them realize that this brain that they have, they can be converted positively and they make money. Most of these boys were trained, and I can tell you that they are doing very, very well in the new business that they are doing. We've been able to match them. We are in partnership with a German company and other companies, including Slots. Slots is here, right here in Benin. You can cross-check with them, including Slots in Benin here. We've have different MOUs with them where we train these young men, and by the time they are out, they have the certificate. Their do job now match them with different jobs because we are connected with and in partnership with a lot of these companies. They are able to source from our bank, our job bank, to be able to get them job. And the good news is that none of them have disappointed us, and that has made the team very, very viable. And they now source for young men and women from our Edo job bank. So in terms of job creation, we've done over 200,000 jobs. But we do one thing every month. We do job tracking, and that job tracking has to do with job gains and job losses. But it's unfortunate that because of this pandemic, we actually have lost close to about 30-something thousand jobs this period. But as at last week, statistic we had, we are gradually coming back. We have gained about 5,000 jobs again between last week and last month. Last month we gained about 5,000 jobs again. And last week to this week, interestingly, the thing has shot up again. Within the last 1 week, we have about 900 and something thousand jobs. 900 and something jobs already have been created. That means this month alone, with the statistics we have in the last 1 week, we might surpass the 5,000 that we got last month. So that is what we've been doing. We track job gains, job losses, all those things are in our EDO portal.
Okay. What's the major impacts of the MOUs that Edo State government has gone into? I mean, I hear people say this government has been involved in over 25 trips to different parts of the world. What are the major impacts of the MOUs signed so far?
Yeah, the Gelegele Seaport is one of those MOUs. And when you go to Ekenwa Road, you will see the expansion of that road up to Gelegele. You need to go to Gelegele and see what is happening there. That is part of the MOU. Go to Olobo, at the Osiomo power plant. The step down is already by Ring Road already, the step down of Osiomo power plant that will be giving us power. That is one of the MOUs. Another MOU is the modular refineries, where we committed over 750 million as seed money to start the modular refinery. That is another MOU. We have another MOU with Siemens. You understand? Then we have a lot of other MOUs where we train our children and where we match up for them. And in doing that, we've been able to deal with the issue of illegal migration. Our children can legally migrate now because we are able to match them with jobs, and they are being received as kings, not being received through the means they used to go before, through Libya and all those things, all those stuff. So we've been able to do those MOUs to create new way of doing things. For instance, one of our main critic in this government, Shomole now, under his administration, this governor was able to attract Azura power plant. But unfortunately, we were not able to go into MOU with this Azura plant. Immediately that project was completed, all the power this thing went to national grid. No one was left in Edo. We went into MOU with Osiomo power plant. Not all that will go to national grid. We're able to get some to the community, and we have about 10 megawatts that is going straight into our own city. So that is the impact of the MOU, where before anything starts, you must have a memorandum of understanding. We must be able to define how those things are done. That is just the essence of MOU. But because they are ignorant of what MOU entails, and they are not saying, even when their eyes are open, they are able to tell us that what has MOU given to us. So I've challenged them to go to Olobo. I've also challenged them to go to Gelegele. I've also challenged them to just log into our Edo portal, and they will see what MOU have generated for Edo State. Just memorandum of understanding, that is what it is. But understand, they don't know beyond the definition of memorandum of understanding because they don't understand it, and they don't know how it works because they never participated in making it work.
What do you say about the feeling that your party and the candidate, in terms of popularity, is limited to just about 4 local governments in Edo State? I mean, with just less than 12 days to the election.
Limited to 4?
Yes.
We are not limited to 4. We are all over Edo State. We are in the 192 wards. And I can assure you that this election is just one way, because Edo people have decided that it's one way. Edo people have said that what the governor and this government is doing now, they're happy with it. Edo State people want the peace. They want to enjoy the peace that they've enjoyed in the past 3 years before Shomole came with his problem. You understand? So they are very, very convinced that this governor will guarantee peace, and this governor will sustain the developmental stride they have started. This governor is not a governor that talks too much. It's a governor that believes that the people must be the one to say what we are doing. And that is why they gave him the wait and see governor, because you wake up, you sleep, you wake up, and something is already on the street without anybody making noise about it. And that have endeared us to the people of Edo State. The people of Edo State now know that you can, at least they have hope that they have a government that, even if they are not in their doorstep now, with what they have seen the governor doing with his consistency, they know it will soon get to their turn. So we have created that trust among our people that if it has not gotten to you, it will be there. Yeah. And that trust is what we are enjoying. That trust is what Edo people want to continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. If you just joined us, the program is Meet the Candidates and Their Political Parties on independent television and radio. Our guest has been Edo State Deputy Governor and PDP Deputy Governorship candidate, Comrade Philip Shaibu, giving us insights into the achievement made so far by the present administration and the reason why they're seeking for re-election come September 19th, 2020, when Edo State governorship election will hold. Well, as is a tradition, we'll be opening our studio line shortly so you can call and ask questions and make contribution. Please endeavor to make your question as brief as possible or your contribution as brief as possible. We don't want names calling. We don't want you to cast aspersion on anyone. Try as much as possible to turn down the audio level of your television or your radio set to remove the echo. That's the only way we can hear you loud and clear enough to be able to respond to you as much as you desire. Just before we open our studio lines for the calls to start coming, governance has been sacrificed on the altar of politics. Is that correct?
No, that is not correct.
Because it looks like many of the projects, if not all the projects, have been abandoned.
No, that is not correct. For instance, the road projects will actually slow down, not because the Edo State government have slowed down. The coronavirus pandemic was the cause of it. Most of these expatriates are out. A lot of them are not within. The companies, they shut down, and some of them, they are running skeletal businesses. So it's not as a result of campaign.
So if you say the expatriates are out, isn't that corresponding to the belief by some people in some quarters that there is outsourcing of Edo contract, Edo jobs, Edo people's businesses and stuff like that? Isn't that a confirmation of that line of thinking?
No, for instance, all the construction companies, majority, about 60% of the construction companies, including all of them, are indigenous. But the owners are indigenous. But if you check them, they bring in expatriates to work for them.
Okay.
So we gave job to indigenous contractors. Let me just tell you, Sonny Duke, all the contractors that are doing our roads are the same contractors that were there under Oshomole. We did not bring new ones. We did not remove any. Setraco is still here. Adlan is still here. iTech is still here. Levant is still here. All of them. We have not brought new ones. The same contractors that have been working since Oshomole became governor. It's the same contractors that we are using. So if he is speaking like that, it means that he brought outsiders to come and work in Edo, because we didn't change anybody. The same. And if you check these companies, the owners are, in fact, Atlant and Setraco, the owners are Edo people. Levant, Edo. So these are Edo people, and they employ expatriates to help them standardize their workforce. So you don't blame the state government for that. It's they that we gave the job, that employ their expatriate. And there's no way really that you can wash out the issue of expatriate, because even our own people are outside the country doing same services. But as far as the companies are concerned, we gave jobs to indigenous companies, not outsiders. So we are not outsourcing anybody.
Okay, thank you very much. Our studio number is 052-290573. The number is on the screen. If you dial that number right now, right away, you will be able to ask questions or contribute to the discussion. And we'll also make another number available so you can send a WhatsApp message to that number. Some of the messages coming in question. This one says from Benin, CDA fee still exists in almost all communities in Benin. Some communities still pay as high as 250,000 naira for development. I know you want to respond, but let me add the second question. Please ask him, who is holy man to him? The man that was arrested in Auchi. This is from Lukman from Benin. Yes, I'd like to get a response.
Yeah, I'll start with the holy man. Interestingly, holy man is my SSA in my ward.
Okay.
And he was APC youth leader in my ward. And interestingly, Oshomole wanted.
I think you need to play that on Oshomole, because he's not here right now to respond to some of these issues.
Oshomole wanted him to work for him, and he said, "No, I am going with my deputy, because you disqualify him. We wanted to vote for his boss to be the governor of Edo State. You disqualified him. So if you disqualified him, we don't know the man that you have brought. I remain in APC, but I'm going to work for them, because they are the one we wanted."
Okay.
Oshomole offered him a lot of money and even a Prado, and the guy said no. The next thing is he attempted to arrest him, and I protected him. I said, no, you cannot arrest him because he refused your offer of a Prado and the 10 million naira. So that is who Holy Man is. Holy Man is an APC Ward 11 youth leader, not PDP.
And he's still your SSA?
Yes, because we employed them when we were in the APC. And this governor has said he will not sack anybody. Anybody that wants to go should go on his own volition. But that he sacked anybody, he will not. And so we still have them in this government that are APC. For instance, Oshomole younger brother, the same father, the same mom, just resigned 2 weeks ago. Even with all this fight, his younger brother, the same mother and the same father, was a commissioner in Edo Padek. But he didn't sack him until about 3 weeks ago or so that he resigned on his own. So that is who the governor is. He doesn't believe that if Oshomole is doing what he's doing, his family members too will be doing same. So only man is an APC Ward 11 youth leader. Okay,
the CDA. Yes, that is still
CDA,
ravaging in this
CDA,
yes.
CDA, you know, in every system, there must be 1 or 2 persons that would like to do something. I remember I was playing golf and a woman, we saw a woman and a small boy, very old woman. She was just going trekking and it attracted my attention, Katie's and I. And I went and we're like, this woman, we gave her small thing. In the course, he was not telling that he's coming from the barrack. Somebody took our land and all those stuff. And because we were investigating, we discovered that it was somebody that was in the CDA before. They wanted to do the same to her. And there is an office that you can report to situations like that. And I referred them to the Osaroida committee. And immediately those people were arrested. It is outlawed. It is outlawed. So anybody that does that, they should report to that office and we will arrest them.
Let's get the calls coming in now. Hello, caller. Good evening. Tell us your name, where you're calling from. Please ensure you turn down the audio level on your TV or radio. Hello, caller. Good evening. What's your name? Let us know where you're calling from. Please endeavor to turn down the audio level on your TV to remove the echo. Hello, caller. Good evening. Please turn down the audio level. Turn it down. Turn down the audio level on your TV or radio. Hello, caller. Yes, Fosa, go ahead.
I want to particularly appreciate the government executive administration and executive to there for all they've done for the people. I want to specifically thank them for how they have responded to the relationship by bringing back our brothers and sisters have been trapped in Libya for years. If not for anything, very good singular action by the governor. They will not pretty much have said a lot about that, but I know this is a huge achievement that they brought to bear on the good people. And I also appreciate the Oba for contributing to that effort and all of that. If I am to ask the deputy governor a question, I was just asking to keep on the good work, we will elect the PDP and the government. And
all right, we'll cut you there so we can give the opportunity to other people that are waiting on the line. All right, so thank you for your contribution. Hello, caller. Good evening. What's your name?
Hello, this is Michael calling for SNY Road.
Michael, go ahead with your contribution.
I want to ask the Comrade deputy governor. I want to ask like 2 questions.
No, just one question, please. One question.
Okay, the water fountain and ring road, what happened to the water fountain and ring road and the street light and the generator we used to on the street light where there's no right?
Okay, all right. Thank you. Yes, Comrade.
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. Yeah, the fountain in Ring Road.
Caller, just hold the line. We'll take you on just now. Just hold the line. Yeah, Comrade.
The fountain in Ring Road, we're trying to do something that is sustainable.
Okay.
For instance, the maintenance of that thing, the bill that they brought, over 72 million naira bill every month. We said no, it's not possible for us to have 72 million spent on that thing every month. And that we have to do something that is sustainable. It's not something that, for the beauty of it, we just pour in 72 million every month. That is the major problem with that fountain. It was created, the way it was done, it was just meant for a show. And for us, we have to do things that will not only reduce cost, but at the same time are sustainable. Same with the street light. You cannot have a system that just is powered by generator. During the last administration, when we check the books, you'll be shocked at the amount of money that was spent on diesel, purchase of diesel to power street lights. And that's when you put them together, you can pay pensioners, you can pay civil service, civil servant, you can do other major infrastructural development for such money. And what we have done is that contract has been awarded by Mr. Governor. We are replacing all those street lights with new solar energy powered street lights.
Okay.
That are very bright, like what we have presently.
All right, let's take this call. Abdul Razak is online. Hello, good evening. Tell us where you're calling us from.
I'm calling you from Auchi.
Okay.
And my question is that what is the extent of completion of the modular refinery?
Okay.
Which I've seen pictures of, some say 75%, some say 95%. That is the first part of the question. The second part of the question is, can this modular refinery be replicated in Edo North and Edo Central? Because there is a pipeline running across this area, and Edo State being an oil producing state, the same oil can be pumped through this pipeline. Because to me, that is the greatest project of MOU or possibly has been embarked on. And I saw the impact of the refinery in job creation and wealth creation.
All right, thank you, Abdul Razak. So many people on the line to ask questions and contribute. I think the Deputy Governor will respond to those questions now.
Yeah, actually, the modular refinery is almost completed. It's about 80% completion. And to replicate it, well, what we do in this government, this has been done. We'll watch how it's functioned and the sustainability and everything before we can replicate. But what we have actually planned to replicate, and that is why we need the second term, is what we have done in Urhobo. We are also trying to replicate it in 3 senatorial districts. Edo has a bundle of gas deposit, and that is the implication. I mean, the good news is that we have started from Urhobo with Osioma power plant. We need to have same power plant in Edo Central along that axis is talking about, same in Edo North, where we can now have healthy competition between these PEDC that are put out in darkness to other private partners that can give us power.
Okay, hello, caller, good evening. What's your name?
Hello?
Yes, hello, good evening. What's your name?
Good evening. I'm Mr. Uchi of
Okay, just go ahead, please. We're listening.
Yes, I know. I want to comment.
Just hold the line. Just hold the line, young lady. We'll bring you on in a short while. Just hold the line. Please go ahead. I'm with you now.
Are we saying now?
Yes, I'm with you now. Go ahead.
Well, I listened to your discussion there, and I want to really congratulate the Deputy Governor and the Governor himself. I know my experience when I was the permanent secretary to BED, how teachers, the condition of teachers at that time, even up to the extent of asking them to come and write competency test. I know my experience with my then commissioner at Winnedy. But today, I can proudly say that the teachers in the room have greatly improved. So we're excellent. So I just want to congratulate the governor and the deputy governor. Everything has also increased. The knowledge of the teachers has also increased. And if you see the condition of some schools at that time, most of them were all dilapidated. The cost of renovating schools now is well as costly as building a new school. So you have to build new schools. So that's the area I look at to congratulate the government. I'm not a politician. I'm just speaking as a neutral person.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I really want to congratulate the government.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Based on that, people should be able to assess what you see on ground. So that's the area I'm really looking at there. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your call. Hello, caller. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, my name is Eddie. I'm calling from Lagos.
Eddie, okay, go ahead.
The news we are hearing is that Edo is not safe, there's violence, there's this. How safe is Edo for electorate to come in and vote when it's time to vote? And I want to ask His Excellency, how prepared are we, how prepared is Edo State for the incoming sports? Are we still going to have the National Sports Festival? And how prepared is Edo State at this time, please?
Okay, so let's get the Deputy Governor to respond to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
How safe is Edo? How do we make Edo votes count in this election?
Yes, Edo will be safe. I can assure you that Edo will be safe. I can assure you of that. We are discussing with all the security agents. All the agencies are on board to make sure security are provided. The president has also assured us that security must be watertight across the polling unit, across the local government. And we are already working with them to ensure that they do their work on election day. So I want to assure them that all this heat, obviously, it's good that it started and we are able to know those areas where they are, and the security agencies are working hard to map out the entire state. And this is interesting, and I can assure you that that day will be very, very peaceful, and they have on instruction to deal with anybody that will want to come out to perpetrate violence, and they will do a lot. The IG have already ordered mopping of arms and all these people around, and I can tell you that they are already in town and they are already gathering their intelligence, they are moving. So I want to assure her that she should not just worry and bother. That day will be peaceful.
Yeah, hello caller, good evening, what's your name? Where are you calling us from? Hello, good evening, what's your name?
Hello.
Yes, good evening. Please turn down the audio level on your TV or radio to remove the echo. Turn it down.
Well, that's all right.
Okay, yes, go ahead. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, I want to join voice with the deputy governor there to say that Edo people were on ground for him and the governor. I want to let him know that Edo people are wise people. We are intelligent people. We cannot take the risk of giving a trial to a man when we have some.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Already.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are with them.
All right. Yeah. Hello, caller. Good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling us from?
Hello?
Yes. Good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling us from?
Yes, this is Alan Stein.
Yes. Go ahead.
From EBA.
From EBA. Go ahead.
Yes. I want to say that the pensioners that also only paid up to 2011 pensioners from 1999 to 2011. Since this administration entered government, they have not paid one single pensioner. Those of us are in 2012, 2013, we are asked to bring our yellow phone to government office. They are gathering just there. Nobody has been paid gratuity. What justification has this government to say that all those pensioners, their children, their wives, and the people they know, will not put against them?
Okay, the deputy governor will respond to that very shortly, but he needs to note that down. But let me take this call. Hello, caller. Good evening. What's your name?
Good evening.
Yes, tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Good evening. My name is Kenneth. I'm calling from Benin.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, please. Mine is actually a request. I want to plead with the deputy governor to please ensure that this election is not rigged, because we know that the governor and his deputy have performed exceedingly. The people are happy. The people are satisfied with what we are seeing in Edo State. We are happy that we are no longer harassed by Agberos and CDA people. We are happy with the infrastructural development in the state. Edo people will come out to vote, but we are only pleading that the deputy and his principal, the governor, ensure that this election is not rigged.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Let's get you to respond to the question asked a while ago. 2012 to 2013 pensioners, they've not been paid as alleged by one of our callers.
Well, I'm not sure it's in Edo State. And if he's omitted, then he should come and regularize his document, because the issue of pension have been settled in Edo State.
Okay.
And I can tell you that a civil servant today, that immediately you are pensioned, the next month is automated. You just start getting your pensions payment.
Okay.
So that is strange.
Okay.
It's strange.
Okay. So let's get our next caller on. Good evening. What's your name? You're live on the program.
Good evening. I'm calling from Benin.
What's your name?
Okay, I'm Christabel from Obiano.
Yeah, Christabel, go ahead.
Okay, yes. Okay, I actually want to thank the governor of the state and the deputy for everything they are doing.
Okay.
So I'm not really a politician, but what they have done so far, we are pleased with it. They have done well. They should continue. Not that when they come in office, the next tenure, there will be opportunity for them to to keep for themselves. So what they have done before, they should do better, and they should make sure that there is security on the 19th. That is what is scaring so many people from coming out to vote.
Okay.
Like I myself, I'm not going to vote. I would like to vote if I see that there is security. I think I'm not the only one. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you. We have our next caller here. Hello, good evening. What's your name?
Hello, good evening. This is Innocent.
Yeah, Innocent, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from GR Benin.
Yes, go ahead, Innocent.
I want to use this opportunity to thank the Deputy Governor for supporting our weak and sick governor and for the good things that this administration is doing.
Okay.
From roads to the schools to the secretarial building that has been renovated up to the stadium, the mini stadium that they built and the ones that they will build after September 19. We want to thank them for all what they've been doing. And I want to also use this opportunity to tell the Deputy Governor that he's a model for young people like us. Because it's the first time I've seen such kind of very smooth relationship between the governor and deputy in the history of Nigerian politics.
Okay.
Whereby you see that no matter what people have tried to do to cause that harmony between the two of them, the deputy governor is still standing strongly behind the governor. So I want to thank him. I don't people thank him for what he's doing. Thank him for supporting the governor for us. Because it's of course, I don't think the governor will be able to achieve what he has also been able to achieve. So kudos to the deputy governor, and I want to assure him that we're going to stand behind them on September 19th and vote for them for another 4 years.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, now we'll take a pause from the calls and we'll look at our WhatsApp platform and see some of the contributions that are coming in from there. One of the messages that came says, we heard that Ogbe Stadium was built by a Yoruba contractor from Lagos. How true is this? Ikmoe Osarabo asked that question. And then I'm Stephen from Igwedman. We'll skip this now because this is not a question. Just move on to the next one, please. Move on to the next one. Questions to the Deputy Governor. What does he think about the peace meeting with the Oba of Benin? There is so much kidnapping along Benin-Ekpoma Road. What is their view on stopping the high rate of kidnapping? And then, good evening, my Honorable Deputy Governor. My name is Ono Setali. I must confess that I and my household so much appreciate what you and your great Governor, Godwin Obaseki, is doing for the people. We are much in my family because the family is a large family, and we are ready to vote for PDP come September 19. My only worry is that our guys ready to defend our vote because we are ready to for and defend our vote starting from the polling unit. I love the governor and his deputy. Reason is because you guys are not noise makers. So quickly respond to one of the questions that I asked about the Ogbe Stadium contractor being a Yoruba man.
There are some Yoruba people that are working there.
Okay.
Don't forget we are Nigerians. And one good news about Ogbe Stadium is that everything about that stadium is indigenous. It's not like the other one that we are saying expatriate. Apart from the tartan track in that stadium, every other thing are all locally fabricated. And I can expect to tell you that everybody there, apart from the tartan track, they are all Nigerians. Benin, Isako, Yoruba, Igbo, they all work there because they have over 5,000 workers that were working in that stadium. Okay. So they can't be Edo-light, all of them. And not forget that in Edo we have Igbos, we have Yorubas, we have Hausa, we have all of them. But one good news was that apart from the tartan track, every other thing there and every other worker there were all Nigerians. And another thing that is instructed about the stadium is that the wood, the doors, the fabrications were all indigenous. Everything there.
Okay.
Let
me take this question.
The track on was because we insisted that what happened in I don't want to call the state. We don't want it to happen here. So we decided that the company Mondo International by themselves must be the one to come and fix so that we can get the 50 years warranty that we were expected to get.
Okay. Osaze from Abuja sent this question. He said, tell us about the fiber internet facility brought to the state. Why is it affordable? Why is it not affordable? And why is it only channeled to their to personal homes and offices?
Yeah, the purpose of creating that
Fiber optic?
Fiber optic,
Yeah.
one, is for businesses too. And I can tell you, when you start, that is why this government, we have plans, and the plans we must see from the beginning to the end. The fiber optics are working now. But one thing is, when you start businesses like that, there's always that tendency of cost. And that is what we're already working on with them, to make sure that they want to make their money, but at the same time, you must get more people in to be able to do that. So, and a lot of these companies are already connected to those fiber optics.
All right, our time is fast. Time is fast spent on today's program. Meet the candidate on independent television and radio. Our guest has been the Edo State Deputy Governor and the Deputy Governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party. Now, Comrade, if your party loses on September 19, would you accept?
My God is not a God of losing. He's a God of winning. And I can tell you that my party cannot lose, because the will of the people cannot be subverted. And we've gone around almost all the communities in Edo State through the 192 wards that we visited. And the support is electric, it's organic. You can see it's not fake, because we go there, we don't hire buses, we go and they walk down. And with that kind of support and with that kind of number, there's losing is not in the air at all. And God has spoken. As far as this election is concerned, God has spoken. It is Obaseki and I, PDP, is winning. And the winning is not because we are superstars. No, because God has a purpose for Edo. God wants the peace that we have enjoyed the last 4 years to continue. God wants us to sustain the pace of development that we have started. And in doing that, we are doing the will of the people. And that is what the government is all about, the will of the people. And that is why we are returning back to the people. And for us to be in PDP, it's not because I want to be in PDP. It's not because Obaseki wanted to be in PDP. There was no plan to be in PDP. God, in His infinite mercy, designed it to be so. So if God had designed it, even in our heart, in the last 1 year or even 2 months, a month to that time we moved, it was not in our calculation at all. Okay. But God arranged it in a way that everything just changed. Okay. And for me, it's like everything is turning around for the good of our people, for us to be in PDP. Okay. And the issue is about the people, and the party belongs to the people.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Edo State Deputy Governor and PDP Deputy Governorship candidate, Right Honorable Comrade Shaibu, for finding time to be part of Meet the Candidates and the political parties today. Thank you so much for coming. We wish you the best. Well, that's our program for today. We hope you enjoyed it. As the candidates indicate interest, you're going to be seeing them on this platform in the days to come. Well, about 12 days. I want to say big thanks to everyone that made this program a huge success. Thank you, and have a beautiful day ahead. Bye for now.